Hello, welcome back to Single Mom on a Farm. Or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I asked Tilly what I should wear and she said to wear green. So can you guess what I am going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about money and how to budget it. I'm going to just talk about a whole bunch of different topics like our grocery budget and gas, utilities, car insurance, services we might pay for, and try to go through each one, not spend too long on each one. But then if there's interest, I can do separate videos on different categories, like 20-minute videos on the other categories. But this one is just going to be kind of comprehensive. I'm going to just jump right in. I'm going to start with our grocery budget because food prices have gone so high lately that we're all looking for ways to save money on our grocery budget. My first tip is to buy the ingredients instead of the finished product. So for example, milk, you can buy milk, or you can buy a big tub of plain yogurt, and then you could buy a big tub of flavored yogurt, then you could buy little individual tubs of flavored yogurt, and then probably the most expensive would be like a Trix Yoplait flavored yogurt with sprinkles and everything. So wherever you are on that ladder, then try to move up one or even two and get closer and closer to the ingredient that everything is made out of. This would save you a lot of money. So the single ingredient things are going to be the cheapest and also the healthiest and usually last the longest. So for example, like granola, instead of buying granola, then buy the oats and the ingredients that make the granola, because those items like honey and granola and oats are going to be able to last on your shelf for years. And you'll always have them with you, if you can buy them in bulk, so it's going to be cheaper. You'll always have them and you can easily mix together some granola. So I kind of challenge you to try that. If you pick up a bag of chips, see how you can get this same product a little bit cheaper. So maybe you can buy tortillas and make your own chips. Or maybe you can buy the cornmeal and then make your own tortillas and make your own chips. Those kinds of things. Not for everything, it's going to be kind of difficult. But just try it, just as a suggestion. My second tip is to not buy fresh herbs, but buy the plant or buy dried herbs. So this was kind of funny. The other day, I saw a basil plant at the store, and it has at least, so it's got the one plant here, and then it has 3 other little ones. I think that can be divided. So you can either say it's 2 plants, or you could probably make it into 4 little plants. And it's only $2.47. And the funny thing was, it was right next to a little tiny container of a few clippings, about the same amount actually, about this much, in a little plastic container right next to it for $5. It was $4.99 for some, fresh herbs on the little plastic shelf there. And I thought, wow, you can buy a whole plant. And really, like I said, you can plant 4 of them, and each one is going to get big. This can be planted in your windowsill. It could be planted in a little planter outside on your patio. I know someone that takes it to work every day and sticks it out in the sun because she doesn't have any sun where she lives, any good windows. So you can do that, whatever works. Little hanging baskets, anything. But really, I think you should be able to go in windowsill. And you can cut your fresh basil anytime you need it. It will get really big, and you'll be able to keep cutting it, and it'll keep growing back, and you'll have it. So I suggest getting a plant for your fresh herbs, or just buying them dried, because dried is going to be cheaper. It's going to last longer. It's not going to go bad. You buy the plastic ones, and they go bad in your fridge really quickly. And then my third one, is to follow Amy Cross with the Cross Legacy for storing fresh produce. She has so many amazing ways, from asparagus to lettuce to berries, apple slices, everything. She teaches you how to wash them and store them in big glass jars, and they will last for weeks in your fridge, and so that you will not be throwing away any food. People throw away 40 to 50% of their food. So this should really be my number one tip, is to waste less food, because think of all that extra money. So if a family is spending $1,000 a month on groceries, $500 of it is going in the trash. So it might not be you viewers, but that's what she said. Americans, in reports, the reports are saying Americans throw away 50% of their food. So follow Amy Cross, and she'll teach you how to store at least the produce, so you're not wasting that. And then try to find any other ways that you can think of that you're wasting food. Are you burning it because you're not, not being neglectful and you have to throw it out? Are you just sticking it in the back of the fridge? Is your fridge way too crowded? Do you have way too many condiments? Are you opening too many and you already have 3 opened or 2 opened? Like 2 sour creams, and then you open them and they're both bad. Just those kinds of things. Just kind of figure out what you might be wasting and try to waste less. Another tip is going to be tip number 4 is before you go to the store, if you're out of something, try to go another day, and then another day, and then another day. Push off your trips. The less trips you go to the store, the less impulse buys, the less spending you probably most likely will do. That's what they say. Anyway, but also you will be using up more of your things that need to be used up so that you're not throwing them away. Sometimes I'm set on making all this stuff, and so I'm like, oh, we have no pasta, we have no sauce, we have whatever. But I do have plenty of rice and vegetables that can make an Asian dish that, if I keep waiting and putting it off, the vegetables would eventually go bad. So try to do that. It also is fun because it makes you really creative. I mean, the whole thing could be like a bomb. I've made plenty of bomb meals, just throwing stuff together because it was all we had. We had some weird meat and some weird chicken, and I put them together and everything. But I've also come up with some like good meals. My kids are like, oh, I love this. Make this again. I'm like, I have no idea how I made it. It was just, just weird, some weird 2 or 3 different meats I've just thrown in together, and some stale chips and this and that. Anyway, but it's pretty fun. Okay, number 5 is reverse meal planning. So to meal plan, most people get out a cookbook. I guess they go on Pinterest these days, but I don't do Pinterest, but I get out a cookbook, and then you look through and you find, ooh, I want to make sloppy joes. And then they put down all the ingredients that they want to buy, make their grocery list, and go buy everything. And reverse meal planning is to look around your kitchen and your fridge and everything and see the ingredients that you already have, and then come up with a recipe that you can make using those ingredients. So again, you will waste less food, you'll save trips to the store, you'll be able to just cook from scratch, come up with some good creative meals. Tip number 6 is to shop the ads. I used to love it when they came in the mail and I would sit down and look and circle things that I was going to buy. Now I guess you have to look online or apps or whatever. But take 5 minutes, whatever day it is, if it's Wednesday or whatever, take 5 minutes, sit down, look through it, write out your grocery list, and decide, you're going to stock up on those items. Then you'll be able to figure out when the sales are also. So like meat is really cheap, usually all summer, from like Memorial Day to Labor Day. The meats are going on sale, so stock up on hamburger then, and hot dogs, some steaks or fish or whatever. Usually chips are going on sale those times too. And that was another point. I'm going to just skip to that. That'll be whatever number we're on. I think that'll be number 7 then, is to only buy fun foods if they are 50% off. This is just a tip I heard from somebody, and it's a kind of a fun rule. You don't have to follow it completely, but it's a good rule to keep in your head. So like ice cream, buy it when it's buy one, get one free. And again, that's usually like a summertime or Thanksgiving. I think a lot of ice cream's on sale, whenever it is. Just say, hey, I'm not going to buy it unless it's buy one, get one free, or, half price. Oreos, buy one, get one free, or whatever it is. Just buy it when it's half price for your treats. Or start doing without, like soda and a lot of chips and cookies and things. Just start doing without the Pop-Tarts, the toaster strudels. And hopefully you're moving up that ladder anyway and buying more ingredients instead of more products already made. Because all these ways are going to help you save money on your food budget. Okay, I think this was my last one. Is I actually have 2 more. One more is going to be, so this is number 7, I think, is going to be finding the stores that have the sale, like the clearance items in your store. So this could be like your Kroger or Albertsons or Safeways or those kinds of stores. They might have like a section where they have a bunch of meat that's like 50% off because it's going to expire in 2 days. And so get a habit of going there, kind of figuring out which day that would be. Seemed like it was like Thursday for a while in one of my towns that I lived in. And I would just go there and get, stock up on my meat, the chicken legs and everything. And then I'd only buy it when it's in that clearance bin. And if I didn't, I wouldn't buy it. And, you buy 3 or 4 at the one time. So if you go there every week and there's not anything, it's okay because you've got it in the freezer. I used to get milk a lot like that too. I can remember which day is usually like a Thursday that it's going to be on clearance because it's going to expire in a couple of days, and I would grab a couple of those. And so if I go to one of those stores, then I try to stock up that. It might be like once a month that I'm going to that store. My other weeks, then probably twice a month, or 3 times a month, I'll go to Walmart, but I will do the online order. And I think it's the same price as buying in store, but it keeps me to my list because I will just know exactly what we're out of and I'll just buy all those things. And there's no impulse purchases. There's no temptation to buy packaged things that you're seeing all over the shelves. So if that works for you, then I would suggest like the club pickup. I've heard that the pickups, I don't know what Instacart is, but they said like that adds a lot of fees, and other stores add fees if you're ordering online or getting delivery or anything like that. But I think Walmart doesn't if you're picking up, and I don't think Sam's Club does either, but I don't have one here. But so those are just a few more tips. Either do pickup, or if you're going to go into a store, make sure you're shopping the clearance sections and following the ads of those stores, and those will be really helpful. And then the last tip is to eat out only on special occasions and not just be on the run and eating out. So get in the habit of not eating out. I just plan ahead. We live far away from everything, so it's very likely that we're going to be in town during a meal. But I always plan ahead. You probably heard me in my vlogs say if rehearsal starts at 4 and it goes till 6, but then we stop and do an odd job afterward. I'll walk someone's dog or clean someone's house. Then we eat dinner before that. So that means we have to eat dinner at 3. And, and it's kind of hard, but at least we're not eating out. So I'll make a nice light dinner then. And then, we can just have a snack when we get home. But anytime road trips, we just bring food. And I just figure, especially if it's a one-day trip, but you don't have to have an awesome dinner that day. It's better than eating out, just to eat sandwiches or hard-boiled eggs or whatever in the car. But we don't eat out, even on road trips. And I just figure, the next day we'll cook, a good, healthy meatloaf and potatoes and salad and stuff. I'd heard that families eat out 5 times a week. So I'm sure there's lots of improvement we can do with that. And I'd also heard that, I'm trying to remember, only 50% of kids are eating 5 meals with their family. And there's a whole bunch of benefits of eating with your family. So that's just another way to save money and improve your family time. And even for like ice cream socials, it was really fun. Well, that's what we called them, my family. When you feel like, I should take them out for ice cream, then growing up, when my grandpa wanted to do that, he just would go to the grocery store and he'd call it all-you-can-eat ice cream social. He'd buy like 5 tubs of ice cream and some toppings, or he already often had some in his cupboard. But we'd go to my grandparents' house, or if we're at my house, he'd bring it all to my house, and then we'd all sit around and we could have all you want. And it was a lot cheaper than him taking us out for ice cream. And it just came so many memories. Like when people suggest, hey, do you want to go out for ice cream or something? Like to me, that's just not a thing. Like I guess I haven't really gone out for ice cream, but I'm thinking it's so much more fun at home because I have so many wonderful memories of that. You're sitting and talking with everybody. There's no time limit, like to hurry up and leave. If there's spills, there's no stress with little kids. So if you feel like eating out for, a celebration, think of how you can do it at home cheaper. But even if you're buying mozzarella sticks or frozen taquitos or whatever, it's still going to be cheaper than eating out. Or if you want steaks or whatever, something fancy, burgers and fries, you can still buy them and bring them home, and it's still going to be cheaper than eating out and probably healthier, especially if you're making your own. But make it as fun as you can at home. I mean, we just love doing our own parties. It's really fun. Okay, moving on to utilities. So for the heater, I would suggest setting as low as you possibly can, like 62, 63 at nights, or 66 during the day, or whatever you're comfortable with. Just keep moving it down a little bit. Staying busy, like it keeps you warm. So, I don't really recognize the house is cold until I actually sit down, but I'm doing the laundry and the dishes and all these things. It keeps you pretty warm. I exercise a lot sometimes, doing wall sits while a kid is talking to me or something like that. It keeps me pretty warm. Putting on socks and slippers can help you stay warm. I have kind of this goal of waiting till November before I turn on my heater. But we do have a fireplace, but it's off the side of our house, so it doesn't heat super well, but I will use that in October. But I think I love having the goals, and I don't use my heater after March. And so I love to try not to use the heater or the air conditioning March, April, May, and June. And it's kind of easier here. We have pretty good weather. In Texas, I can only do it March and April. It was really hard because May and June just got so hot. And I had to use air conditioning, but we only had this window unit. But still, I've always tried to have at least March and April And then like October, November, or September and October, wherever, depending on the different places that you live. And the place I've lived, I've tried to have just 4 months at least where I'm not using any heat or air conditioning. Some people brag like, oh, I had to use the heater this morning and the air conditioning at night, or by the afternoon. That's how the weather fluctuated. And I was like, I feel like you can scrimp a little bit. You can be cold in the morning knowing it's going to warm up in the afternoon. Like, why use both in the same day? But that's just me. And I feel like we need to like feel the weather a little bit better. I did house sit for a house one time that just kept it at 73. I guess it was like a smart thermostat or something. And it was just so weird. So the heater kicked on in the morning and I'm like, it's not that cold. Like it's in the 50s outside or something. But I knew it was going to be a nice warm day. And then by the afternoon, when it got up to like 80 outside, then the air conditioning was kicking on because it just like stayed 73 like all day, all night. It was just odd. And I couldn't tell what the weather was outside, like what I should wear. So I prefer to, you wake up cold and that it's a chilly morning. And then, the house heats up and, it's like a hot afternoon or whatever. I just feel like as humans, we're getting out of touch with seasons and weather. And we're also not okay with being uncomfortable, that we have to be like a perfect temperature all the time. Instead of like, we can put a sweatshirt on for a while. We can be uncomfortable until like we're really, really cold. Then turn the heater on. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit off topic. But that's just a way to save money, is to try to find some months where you don't have to use either one of them. And at least you'll have a low bill those months. I look at my Appalachian Power bill, and it's fun to see. It has like a bar graph of every single day, how much electricity you use. And so it's kind of fun to look at that and be like, oh, let's try to use less than the other days. In the summer, we try to play outside and stay outside until 8 at night. And then that means we're not using any lights on in the house. So all afternoon and evening, we're outside. We are like working in our garden and picking blueberries and stuff. And then when we go in, we'll turn the lights on, usually like 2 or 3, just in the main room. And people are getting ready for bed, they have to turn it on in their bedroom. And then when they all go to bed by 10, I just have one light on. I'm just, instead of having like the whole downstairs, I just turn one light on wherever I'm working at. I'm usually working at night, and it saves us money. So that's just one little tip. For the air conditioning, I would say to set it as high as you can, like 78 or 80 degrees before it kicks on. Other tips are just like shutting doors to the rooms that you're not using, especially like in the winter, so that the heat's not, going in there at all, like for our fireplace. Closing vents off for the rooms you're not using. If you have split thermostats, you can try not to use them. Like our house in Utah had 2 thermostats. It was a huge house. And upstairs, I just try not to even use that one. Like just keep it off. Or I'd keep it, so if there's like 4 or 5 settings throughout the day, then I would try to have it always go back to like 60 degrees or 62. So that way, if we are upstairs, I could turn it up to 67. It would be warm, but I would know in a few hours it's going to kick back down to the 62 in case I forgot to turn it down when we all went downstairs. Because only the bedrooms were up there. We didn't go up there. We didn't like have toys and stuff, so we weren't up there very much. But if we're cleaning out closets, we might get cold. I'm going to turn the heater on. But most of the time we were on the main floor, and then the basement we had the playroom. Anyway, so just notice, if you're in your thermostats, what they're set at. Use a smart thing so that it will go way down at night. Maybe even like an hour before bed, I would have it to go down to like 62. So that way all of a sudden I'm like, gosh, I'm getting really cold. I'm like, oh, it's because it's bedtime. Instead of keep the heater on and then like we're going to be gone, make sure it's off. What else? I try to keep my bill just like $50 to $60 during like the spring and the fall when we're not using anything. And it's, it's really satisfying. It's an easy way to save money. And in the summer, we just have window units in this house. And so it goes up to $100, $115, $120. Which I think of any tips for that. I kind of run it at night because it's really hot and muggy here at night. And so it will cool the house down, and then I won't have to use it all day until about dinner time. So I think it's cheaper to run it at night when the outside air is cool than running it when the sun is blasting on it. So that's just another tip, to try to run it at night, and then close all your windows and everything and try to keep the cool air in for the day. I have one quick story about that. I hope this isn't going to be too long. But in our Texas house, I just had 2 little girls. They were 2 and 1. And then I was pregnant with my third, Spencer. And it was so hot there. We did not have air conditioning, but we did have one window unit. And It was so cold. I mean, it was so hot. And at first the summer, like in May, I was just dying. I was like, what am I going to do all day long with these two little girls? And we're burning hot all day long, and we're having to run this thing all day long. And then some friends asked me to go walking with them, and I was like, you don't go walking in this heat. But I did. So we'd go to the park every morning at 9, and we'd walk, and it got me out of the house because I just would not walk in that heat. I was so hot, so miserable. But we'd walk for, like for an hour or so, and then we'd sit and let our kids play on the playground for a long time. It was just so much fun. I love it. I love the good old days, no planned activities for your kids, but just get together with friends. So we would sit there and talk. And I love that I didn't really have anything to do. Like I didn't have a ton of housework or yard work or anything. It was fun. Anyway, so by the time we got home, we'd stay there until everybody could, as long as everybody could, until kids got grouchy. We'd go home. And as soon as we walked in the door, the girls would just start taking their shoes off, and I would just jump in the shower, and I would turn on cold only. So cold showers is a great way to save money on your water heater bill. But I would just take a cold shower because I was super hot, as cold as it could go, and then I would jump out and just stand in front of a fan, like a ceiling fan or another box fan that we had, to cool myself down, and we'd eat lunch, and then we'd all take naps, and then with fans on us usually. And then when we woke up was when I wouldn't turn the window unit on. So I just had that goal of don't turn the window unit on until after nap time. And it ended up saving us so much money. Like June and July was a lot cheaper than May because I didn't turn it on until then. Like a cold shower and fans, I was able to stay cooled off through nap time and everything. Installing ceiling fans really helps. All 4 houses we've lived in, I've had to install ceiling fans, and they'll help you feel much cooler. Okay, moving on to the next thing. Car insurance. Drive safe. Try to drive so safe that your car insurance will stay low. My car insurance is $250 for 6 months for the 2 cars, so it's $500 a year. I only get the basic insurance, whatever is required by law. I've heard that the comprehensive insurance, or when I looked it up and asked the agent, is 3 times as much. So instead of $500, it'd be $1,500. And they said most people spend around $700 for a year car insurance for 1 car, and that would be like $2,100 if they had the comprehensive. So if I was going off of that, my dad said only get the basic if you feel like you've never gotten in a car accident. So if you're paying $700 for 1 year, you're saving $1,400, right? Because otherwise it'd be $2,100 if you're buying comprehensive. So that is $1,400 a year you're saving, and after 10 years, that's $14,000. So he said if you only get in a car accident every 10 years, then it's worth it because that's $14,000 you've saved that you could just buy a new car. If that's the price range of your car, which is mine. I could buy a $14,000 used van pretty easily. So that was my dad's wise advice. I have never once gotten in a car accident, and I've got my license when I was 16, and now I'm 45. So that's about 30 years. And I would have spent, what is that then? $42,000. I would have spent $42,000 on car insurance by now. So like that is several cars I could have bought. So I'm really glad that I've only gotten the basic. But of course, that's up to you. If you are getting a lot of accidents, or you think trees are going to fall on you, or hail damage or whatever, I just buy very cheap used cars. So I'm willing, if I hit a deer, to fix the fender myself. And I don't file claims because then it's going to make my insurance go up. Like that's what I've been told. So if I were to hit a deer or get a little bit of hail damage, I would just deal with it. Like they're old cars, I don't care. I would just leave it or have a friend help me fix it. And obviously, if you have a fancy car, you might want better insurance. Okay. For property taxes, if you have an opportunity to move, then you might want to move out of a city where you might have to pay for city and county taxes, because we live way out, so we have to pay county taxes really cheap. For clothes, I would only have a few clothes. I think that's the easiest thing, is to not have a lot of clothes. Wear them out. You use them and then wear them out, and then buy new ones to replace those, instead of having 50 clothes and then they never wear out, but you don't like them anymore, and then you have to get rid of, give them away and buy new ones. For kids, I loved shopping consignment sales. If I ever buy clothes for my kids, when we lived in the cities, then I loved the consignment sales that like churches might have like twice a year. Those are just awesome. You can bring your own clothes and sell them, and and then buy new ones. I just loved the consignment sales. Were really fun. This is kind of a treat for me that I might use some babysitting money for. Um, for this twice a year. Otherwise, we mostly did hand-me-downs. So many people would give us clothes, so put the feelers out there. I think there's even Facebook groups now that are just like, anybody want these clothes? I'm just trying to get them, just wanting them to go to a good use, a good family. Don't go buy a whole bunch because kids grow too fast. They don't need them. Having less in your closet is so easy because it's going to save you so much time from having to clean them up all the time. And also just keeping simple outfits. So I try not to ever get like a matching outfit, like a sweatsuit or something that you had to wear together. I really preferred for boys like khaki shorts or pants, navy shorts or pants, and jeans, which is like get those three. And then I'd get shirts to match any of them. So, blue and white striped shirt can go with jeans or the navy or the khaki. It could look good with anything. Just simple shirts, maybe basketball on it or whatever. And then I just have the pile of shorts and pants, and the t-shirts, and they could be long sleeve also. And the boys could just pick them out themselves, and whatever they're wearing always matched. And if they spilled on something, it's easy to take the shirt off and find it. I was like, hey, go change your shirt, and they can put on a new shirt, and it's gonna match. They're just kept it super simple. For my girls, it's pretty similar. I try not to do like the whole matching outfits. I didn't really know where to put them when they matched. It was just easier to say, here's 3 or 4 pants and shirts, and I did the same thing kind of with jeans, navy and khaki, like navy leggings or something, or maybe pink, like pink or purple leggings, whatever. And then a few shirts that pink, purple, yellow in them that could all match them. But anyway, just the mix and match outfits so they could just grab, and they all could go together. Or dresses were really easy for little girls, especially in the summertime. Just the simple dresses they could just pull on, and it's just one outfit it's kind of done. Instead of getting like a fancy Christmas dress, I would usually try to get like a red shirt and a black skirt that they could wear like all season long, like all of December, and they could wear it for Valentine's Day too. And it, not so super fancy Christmas dress that they might only wear once. Okay, moving on to services. Do as much stuff as you can, like washing your car, cutting your own hair, your kids' hair. If you have a skill, you might want to swap for something. I did babysit for someone when they helped me fix some like pipes and stuff that were broken. He's like, I can just fix that. And if you're willing to just babysit for a date night, I was like, sure. So there's those kinds of things. And then just see what your services are and see if you can start doing it yourself. And pressure washing, we always just borrowed a neighbor's, and a neighbor's pressure wash like twice a year. So they're like, sure, borrow it. Like it's not a thing that they're using all the time. So they really didn't mind. So just borrow it and pressure wash your house. You don't have to hire someone. Let's see, for other little things, notes that I wrote down, I know this is getting kind of long. I would buy just one multi-purpose spray for cleaning my house. It just kept my cupboards more simple. It kept me from like having so many, having them spill, having them be wasted or anything like that. So the same with shampoo. We just kind of buy one shampoo. We all can use it. For conditioner, I just do like a little bit of conditioner, like a pea-sized amount, and rub it in my hands and rub it in my hair. And then it's just like leave-in conditioner. You don't have to, it saves a lot instead of like slathering it and rinsing it out. Just staying as simple as possible, I think, with hair care products and makeup. We have one bathroom and there's 10 of us sometimes. So it's just I've always had little spaces. So I just have a little bit of stuff. I don't like to spend a lot of time taking care of my stuff. The more stuff you have to take care of. I've heard that like 40 to 50% of our cleaning time is because of stuff. You have to move it to vacuum around it. You have to move it to dust. You're having to move things, find things in your closet. You can't find the shoes because you've got 7 purses on the floor too. So if you have less stuff, it saves you so much time. You're going to be able to earn more money. You have more fun time. You'll be happier. So less stuff. For gas, I just make a goal of I only want to fill up about once a month or once every 2 weeks or whatever it is. Just make a goal and try to stick with that. I have this book here that we got when we first got our very first minivan in 2003, and we just wrote down all of the gas. So like the day we got it, we got 8 gallons of gas at $1.38 a gallon and spent $11. So, and then we went until July 19th and then August 1st and then September 22nd. So I must have not have gone anywhere for a long time. Then October 28th, November 7th, November 20th. It's just really fun to look back and see like how, if I could try to go once a month. And then sometimes, you know, obviously there's like, we must have gone on a trip when there'll be like two gases on one day and then 2 the next day. It's really fun to see the prices that have changed, and you know, they've gone up and down. But anytime I get gas, I just write it down, and it's really fun to see how frequently I am and if I can do better or if I'm doing awesome. So you can keep a book, a record. Try to just stay home more. Don't put your kids in so many activities. Don't run to the store for lots of things. Combine trips to the store and your other errands that you're going to do all on the same trip. But the more you stay home, I think the less money you spend because you're not out tempting to buy a coffee or wherever you are running around to. Cut out activities for your kids. Stay home with them. Enjoy playing the games and playing with the toys that they have. Which brings me to the next thing of toys, is to buy them less toys and get the classic ones. So if you're going to buy them, we just do birthdays and Christmases are the only times we get toys, unless they occasionally spend their own money, kind of like on a mommy date, or if they've earned it, they just want something, but it's been rare. And growing up, I was the same way. I just did not spend my money. If I wanted anything, I waited till my birthday or Christmas, and I asked for it, and I usually got it. And I'm just talking about little things like shoes or jewelry or a book or whatever. But get classic toys that can have many, many purposes, like blocks. I have this set of blocks that I got when Kylie was born. She was given a bunch of clothes, and she did not need all the clothes. And so I exchanged them for some blocks, and I'm glad I did because these have lasted 24 years. And we still play with them, still use them, still prop up train tracks on them. They've been very useful. So get things like blocks. We really love Legos and Brio trains, and both of those things I got used at yard sales. Big buckets of Legos for like $2 or $3. This is way back in the early 2000s, but they've lasted all these years. So if you can find them, good sales, especially yard sales like that, they'll last forever, and kids can make anything they want with them. Like, and general art supplies are awesome. Instead of like one art kit that does something fancy and has like a little machine or whatever, spiral art or something, and then you either have to buy replacements or you don't use it anymore and you have to throw it out. But loose parts where kids can just run and get things and build with it, play with it. I didn't have birthday parties for my kids. One thing I kind of felt bad, if I had like twice as many kids as other people, and my friends are always bringing my kids presents, but really I didn't want a lot of presents for my kids. I didn't want them to get 10 new toys. Like, I didn't know what we'd do with them. And a lot of times they were toys like just like a one-time use. Might have like a little doll and a horse, and like that's cool, but if it didn't go with our other games, I didn't know that they would ever use it. So I preferred to get like, we always played with dolls, and so, you know, like a doll clothes or a doll bottle or something if I was giving them a present. But it's okay to have less birthday parties or less friends come to the parties because you're going to end up collecting so many toys and things. It's hard. I'll do another video on stuff and how to have less stuff because I'm talking too much. The last thing is to like cut out video subscriptions or other subscriptions that maybe you don't really need or use. Go back to just renting a movie from the library. They're usually free. Ours are. And I think every library I've ever gone to is free. So hopefully yours are. Rent a movie from the library and bring it home and play it. And then it's a set movie night and you're having a great bonding time with your family instead of just having subscriptions and videos on whenever you want, you know, on demand like that. It's planned ahead. I am going to stop for now because my voice is getting tired. My throat's kind of dry. So I hope these tips help you with your budgeting. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I probably did, but I'm just trying to not make the video super long. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for asking for this video, and keep on saving money. You're doing great. Just try not to spend any money. I know someone that said, I'm not going to spend money this whole year, like buying any new stuff, like new purses and new clothes. And it was really fun. And she actually got out of debt. She got out of like $30,000 of credit card debt that she had by just not buying anything new that year. Besides, you know, like your food. Anyway, I keep on thinking of more ideas, but thank you so much for watching and asking for this video. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.